On this episode, a woman sues NYPD for false arrest. Also, 4 juveniles in custody after an armed robbery and a police chase. That starts right now on Chris Talks. Let's get into it.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chris Talks. I am your host with the most, Chris. All right, y'all. Before we get into these shows real quick, I want to give a shout out to what's the name of this church again? The Stapleton Church. I want to get a shout out to Stapleton UAME Church. A quick round of applause. Thank you guys. Always good. All right. Also, I want to tell y'all about this new movie. What is it called again? Barbie. Now it's on you if you want to go see it. It's on you. I haven't seen it. I've seen the previews of it. There is a lot of people talking about this new movie, Barbie. I am not going to see this movie. That is not going to. No, it's not going to happen. It's just how you say it again, Ed? How you did it? Won't. Yeah, that is not going to happen. But if my kids want to go see it, if my daughters want to go see it, I guess they can. I've seen the previews. I mean, it looked kind of boring. I'm gonna just be honest. It looked kind of boring, but it's neither here nor there. All right, so let's get into these stories. Our first story is bringing us to Brooklyn, New York. All right, y'all. All right. What do you think? Yeah, Brooklyn. Yeah, okay. First, I'm sorry, I can't hear. My friend, I have a friend here with me. She's joining me. Amber, let's welcome Amber. She's gonna be like Silent Ed in the background. She's just gonna be just sitting there. Yeah, like Silent. She's just sitting here observing. So she said her little 2 cents, and I asked you to be quiet, but she said her little 2 cents. But let's just get right into the story. Let's let our AI take it over. All right, Ed, hit it.
A Brooklyn woman, Dora Jenkins, has taken legal action against the NYPD after she was wrongfully arrested and groped outside her home in Bedford-Stuyvesant by NYPD's Douglas Carr on the 14th of June 2021. She was arrested for stalking and harassment charges, filed by 1 megasecond. Shantai Harris, her hairdresser, who claims Ms. Jenkins threatened to kill her and break her jaw during the arrest. Ms. Jenkins had a shocking and traumatizing experience with Detective Douglas Carr, who allegedly placed his hands inside her underwear and touched her vagina while he was trying to cuff her. During the arrest, Ms. Jenkins had a shocking and traumatizing experience with Detective Douglas Carr, who allegedly placed his hands inside her underwear and touched her vagina while he was trying to cuff her. When she raised the alarm, Detective Carr claimed he was looking for her wallet directly inside her pants. To the point where his hand touched her vagina, these questions remain unanswered as Ms. Jenkins carries a new trauma around. The officer also made the arrest without any form of real evidence. Just word of mouth and fabricated evidence to justify the arrest. During the investigation, Mark Betterow, Jenkins' lawyer, found that Carr had worked with Shantai Harris' father, Officer Raymond Harris, who died sometime in 2019 due to an illness believed to be linked to the 9/11 attack, proving that this was a case of misusing the justice system for one's own personal gain. The case against Jenkins was later dismissed by judges after careful consideration and investigation, but not before she was wrongfully detained by Douglas Carr of the NYPD. It was only a matter of time before the case was dismissed. Says Jenkins, "The truth always prevails. And I'm glad the case was dismissed in my favor. Too serious of an allegation to let go of." Dora Jenkins and her attorney have filed a complaint with the City of New York against Harris for harassment and assault, asserting that Harris' father's former affiliation with the NYPD should not grant her immunity from the repercussions of misusing the criminal justice system. Just because Shantai Harris' father was a cop with NYPD doesn't mean she can misuse the criminal system for her own vindictive agenda, says Jenkins. Dora Jenkins' case raises some concerns about the misuse of the justice system by civilians. If everyone who has an acquaintance in the police department uses their influence negatively like this, what will become of the system? Every citizen should be held accountable for their actions regardless of their affiliations, and false claims should not be weaponized. Jenkins has expressed her annoyance and frustration with the NYPD and what she deems a lack of action on their part. Choosing to pursue legal recourse on this matter is an act of trust on the part of Jenkins, who believes that she can get justice for herself and create awareness around the topic of the misuse of the criminal justice system in America. Jenkins' arrest was a breach of her basic human right in the first place, but to now be subjected to sexual assault, groping, defamation, and psychological trauma on top of that is appalling. The issue of assault has barely been addressed, even though Ms. Jenkins lodged a complaint with the NYPD's Internal Affairs Bureau and the Civilian Complaint Review Board when it happened. The Bureau and Board say they are still investigating the case, while the NYPD is yet to make any formal arrests based on the new lawsuit filed by Ms. Jenkins. The psychological impact of this has left Ms. Jenkins shaken, leading to the development of strong anxiety and bouts of depression. As a respectable citizen, she is calling on the NYPD to do the needful as regards Detective Carr, who already had 7 civilian complaints filed against him as at the time when the incident took place.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Wow. This was something that was this is definitely going to be probably extremely traumatizing for this woman. This is a much older woman too, and her father being an NYPD officer. I don't think anybody who is related to a police officer should have any type of treatment. Any type of treatment. Just because your father's an officer, or your father's this, or your mother's that, or your aunt, your uncle, even if your family members are judges or lawyers, I don't think that you should get any type of special treatment. Anytime. But this officer was completely out of line. Can we give him my dummy bell? Completely out of line. Like,
Bruh.
groping her.
Bruh.
Like, what is that about? Talking about you finding keys? You're not, as far as I'm concerned. Excuse me. As far as I'm concerned, a male officer in New York, a male officer is not supposed to be searching a female in the first place. Okay, and then it also states that he had no probable cause at all whatsoever to search this woman. Period. So he shouldn't even been in any type of no reason. There was no reason for him to have any type of contact with her in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? And by the grace of God, and this is why when you going through these type of things, like I always say, God protect his people. You know what I mean? This case was straight thrown out, and now she is suing the police department, and she's going to win. She's going to win. I really hope that she does. If she doesn't, gotta be bugged out. But you know, sometimes crazy things seem to, what's the word I'm looking for? Seem to just find their place in there. But to me, this is like a closed and shut case that this man, this officer, needs to be prosecuted, and he needs to be arrested. He needs to be stripped of his badge, because this officer has had more than one complaint. And to me, that's a big issue in New York. When you report these officers, when they're doing these things, nothing really happens. And I'm just being honest. Nothing really happens. sometimes there is some discipline action, and sometimes there's not. I think there was a story that we just recently did. There was a story that we recently did. I forgot the name of it, but you remember, Ed? Yeah, I don't remember either. I forgot the name of it, but there was a story that we recently did. If you go back into my videos, you will see there's a story that we did about somewhat of a similar situation, right? But it still had to do with like the brutality and the abuse of power by law enforcement. And this doesn't just happen in New York. It doesn't. It happens in so many different places. It happens all around this country. And by the grace and goodness of God that we have technology to catch these things happening. Because if we didn't, a lot of these officers, like in the past, they would just get away with it, keep working, and like nothing's being done. And to me, in this case, this officer, something needs to happen to him. Like seriously, he needs to do some type of time in jail. He needs to be fired, drop off the force, take his pension and everything, take everything. You know, because a lot of these officers, what they do is they do stuff like this, and some of these officers come from different states to New York. You know, and some of these officers leave New York and go to different states. These type of people do not need badges. They don't. They do not need badges. Let's give NYPD our dummy bell. Yes. Give them the dummy bell. Because this is to me, this is real. This woman had to be embarrassed just going through this. And then she was jailed. You know, because a woman being violated like that and then having to stand up and talk about it, I mean, it gotta hurt. You know, I know that has hurt. I've never been through nothing like that, but seeing it, especially on some people's face, you know that they're going through it. All right. So, what we got next, Dave? What we got next? All right. So yeah, that's my view. That's my opinion. That's my view and that's my opinion on our first story. So, all right, let's pay these bills real quick. Y'all know all the links and everything. They're right there up on your screen. This particular episode will be on YouTube. And also, if y'all anybody want to promote any of their businesses or anything like that on this channel, just hit us up on Facebook or the Messenger. Also, we also put up inspirational and motivational content on Facebook. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow right now. That's not funny, my dude. That's not funny. I'm a little bit slow right now, but that's not funny at all. That wasn't funny. Yeah, okay, cut it out, Ed. All right, y'all, let's get into this next story, which is 4 juveniles in custody following an armed robbery and a police chase. Wow, juveniles. They probably were little non-melanin boy. I don't know, they probably was melanin. I don't know. This sounds like a non-melanin offense. Well, or 4 though. Yeah, because it only takes 2 melanin people to steal a car. So, you don't need all 4. That wasn't funny. Anyway, this story takes us to Denver. So, let's check this story out. Ed, hit that AI and let's get into it.
4 juveniles are in custody after an armed robbery in North Glen ended with a short chase and crash in Thornton. According to police, Around 11:20 a.m. Sunday, North Glen police responded to a robbery call in the 500 block of East 120th Avenue. When officers arrived, the suspects had already fled from the scene. Thornton police were called to help and tried to make contact with the suspect's vehicle but failed. A chase then began. Once at Riverdale Road and Colorado Boulevard, the suspect failed to make a turn and crashed. 2 of the 4 suspects were handed over to the North Glen Police Department. According to Thornton police, the remaining 2 suspects were transported to a local hospital for crash injuries. The crashed car was reported stolen, and a gun was located inside the vehicle. The officers had already had 2 of them apprehended, and when we were starting to film, an officer had just brought another suspect down, the resident said. As soon as we saw that, the car started on fire. Video taken by those residents shows the car catching on fire right after the crash. It's just crazy and wild. But more than anything, once I seen everything that was going on and I seen all these young kids, it just broke my heart to see everything that was going on because it reminded us of our grandkids. The residents said.
Wow. That's bugged out. 4 juveniles. 4 boys. 4 little boys. And 2 of them were hospitalized, and the other 2 excuse me, 2 of them were hospitalized, the other 2 suspects were captured, which is good. So let's give a round of applause to the Denver police for catching these 4 juveniles for stealing a vehicle. I don't know what's wrong with kids these days, but I will agree with what the lady said this is crazy more than anything, because our juvenile kids, they're not listening to their parents. But ladies and gentlemen, that's where it starts. It starts at home. That's where it starts, at home. So if you're not doing your job at home, you're not watching your kids, you're not keeping an eye on your kids, things like this happen. I'm not saying it's good, but things like this happen. And that would be my major question. Excuse me. Sorry, I burped. Sorry. Not funny. Anyway, so my question is, where were the parents? That's my question. Where were the parents? Because these young men, 9 times out of 10, stole a car probably within their neighborhood. And also, the second question I would have is, where did they get the gun? Where did they get the gun? Now, they do mention, in a further report, they do mention that all 4 of the suspects were under 18. So they don't really put out their names. They don't really put those out. But where did they get the gun from? That's my question. Where did they get the gun? Because you have to be at least 18 to purchase a gun, especially in these southern states where you are allowed to carry and stuff like that. You have to be at least 18. All 4 of these young men were under 18. How did they get the gun? Who purchased it? Who did they get to purchase that gun for them? Or who did they purchase it from? That would be the question. And also, where else were they headed? What else were they headed to do? Thank God that this story had this type of ending, because nobody died in this situation. Thank God nobody died in this situation. People were injured, but they didn't die. And just the robbery alone could have probably went completely different. They could have probably shot the person or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different scenarios that could have happened here. But we are glad that nobody died. And the police was able to get these people. I mean, the vehicle is completely totaled. because I'm like right now. Can you pull that up, Ed? That picture right there. This vehicle is completely flipped over. Like the left wheel, the left back wheel the left rear wheel is completely gone. No accidents, nothing in. It's just a hole. And these boys, they lucky they survived the crash, and they didn't get caught up in that fire. All right, y'all. That's my view and that's my opinion on that topic, on that story right there. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for listening. You know what I'm saying? As always, if you like this content, want to hear more of it, y'all know what to do. Thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I appreciate that so much. Until next episode, peace. All right, let's get out of here, and let's go get started.